Hey guys, welcome to today's blog post. Excuse me while I get comfortable. Today's blog post is how to overcome your fears and doubts. Just bear with me a sec. Okay, now mindset is something that I'm going to be covering quite deeply in my blogs and in my coaching and also in my prospecting and recruitment. Now, I released a video this morning which talks about my sort of big why moments and the moments in my life sort of recently when I let go a lot of baggage and just opened the doors and started letting positivity and happiness in, and soon enough I just started to attract lots of like-minded people who needed help, that we could we had a bond that was there to be built on and grown. And you know what, it's just been such an amazing last sort of 9 to 12 months that I just know that where I go on from this is only going to get better and better and better. So I came up with, I was talking to, quite briefly, messaging someone, one of my leaders, one of my mentors in our Facebook group last week, and she sort of suggested that I may start blogging about mindset. And I thought, well, maybe this would be some use to people in the group and people that I've been talking to about mindset. And they're kind of like, well, what do you mean? How can it work? How does it help? So I'm going to start putting these videos out on a sort of daily basis over the next sort of few weeks. And if it helps, brilliant. Let me know if you get some value from it. If there are things that you agree with or want to elaborate on, then let me know. If there are things that you don't understand or may not agree with, then let me know, because that's just as important, because we're all different. We all have our little triggers, and we all have our opinions on stuff, and that's very important when we're talking about mindset. So get in touch. Okay, so 4 important steps. The first thing that actually, just quickly, just to run back just over 12 months ago, I was in a real hole. I knew what I wanted to do in terms of helping people online. I just had no idea what to do. I had no confidence and hadn't really homed in on my why or my whys. My friend Ian Darley, who is really talented at helping with things like NLP and just finding the right path, finding your route to some sort of happiness. And he gave me some little mental exercises, and that's what I'm going to talk about here. So 4 steps. The first one was to avoid getting overwhelmed. Now that came from a conversation we were having about setting goals, and I would literally write a list of things that I needed to do that day or that hour or that part of the day. And it was ridiculous. There'd be like 2-3 sides of A4, and I would get overwhelmed. It would stress me out, and inevitably after 2-3 days I just wouldn't finish a list because I was so exhausted mentally. I wasn't very well anyway, and I was tired, and I got stressed out about the fact that I couldn't do all of these things. I would get really upset with myself because I just thought, well, what's the point? So I was told to stick to 5 things. Okay, now if you look at the blog, I've given an example of 5 things. You could argue that within each point there are lots of things in there, but it's just a way of finding perspective to narrow down this massive sort of wish to take action but don't know really where to go. If you can get into the habit of achieving 5 solid goals and tasks every day, you'll find that you will just be able to do it naturally, automatically. You will have taught yourself that yes, you can do you can achieve targets and goals on a daily basis. That makes you feel very, very good. So then you're going away from not completing this huge list of things that you give yourself to do. So suddenly you're actually achieving something important to you every single day. So keep it to 5 things. If it ends up growing to maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things a day down the line, then fine, but just be very careful with that. Okay, you can generalize and you can achieve things that you need to have done on a daily basis. Also, remember that success to people are different things. For me, back 12 months ago, success was just getting through the day. Success was just feeling good about myself. I hated myself. No one did self-loathing like me. So, if you need to talk about that, then get in touch, because I've heard it all, I've felt it all. I still feel it sometimes, but these particular these particular exercises, get me straight back to positivity almost instantly. Okay? So that's avoiding getting overwhelmed. Very important. Just get into that habit of achieving your goals. Number 2 is kind of remember the sort of achievements that you've found in your lifetime. You may go back to when you were a teenager. You may go back to something that just sticks out in the memory. It might take you a while to think of something, but there will be something in your life that you've achieved that at the time made you feel fantastic. It made you feel valid. It made you feel on a par with people that you looked up to. There will be something. I can look back. I went to drama school in London, and I trained up to be a stage manager. I remember the day I graduated, and I felt 10 feet tall. I worked so hard at that. I was passionate. That was a time in my life. That's what I wanted to do, and I did it. And I was working in the West End in London in big theatres, and I was living the dream. Yeah, I've got that I can go back to in my life and think, I did that. I did that off my own back. I worked hard. I didn't receive a penny off anybody. I did it all. So I can take myself back, and I can remember how I felt when I received my certificate on stage, and no one can ever take that away from me. So find that moment in your life. It might have been when you had a child. It might have been when you kind of did something when people thought that you would never have done it. Whatever it is, just remember that feeling. Okay, just remember that feeling. Number 3, kind of remember your discoveries. Now, it's kind of like point 2, but I remember when I was a teenager, I was a record vinyl junkie, and I used to work hard for mum and dad, and they used to give me £2.50 on a Tuesday. Not a lot of money, but it's what I did with that money, and I collected records. And I remember I used to spend 2 or 3 hours choosing my record. I used to drive the people in a record shop to distraction. Can I have a listen to this? No, I don't want that. But when I went home with my record, I'd put everything into getting that record. I used to look at the sleeve notes. I used to remember how I felt when I put the record on, the little crackles at the beginning. There's a lot of attachments there to discovering a new band, new music, and it used to just sort of give me a lot of enjoyment. And when I think about certain records that I bought, or how I felt when I put certain records on, or when I went back to putting a record on that may not have put on for a couple of years, I remember the feelings that gave me. It still gives me a lot of amazing feelings now. So remember that you've got all of these things as a person that make you feel good. Okay, number 4 is adding emotions and physicality to your dreams and thoughts. So this could be, if there's a dream that you've got, if there's a place that you want to travel to, if there's success that you want online, if there's something you want to achieve, if you picture yourself doing it and add emotion and physicality, in other words, imagine yourself doing it, imagine yourself in possession of the goods or the things that you want that you think that are gonna make you feel fantastic, then imagine having them. Just having dreams and thoughts without attachments of physicality or emotions isn't going to get you there, isn't going to make you feel that you can achieve it. So if you can picture yourself doing it, then maybe you're on the path to achieving these goals and targets that you really, really want. Okay, so I hope this video brought you some value and helped you in making you feel better on a daily basis, get you out of some gloom, get you out of some depression, because altering your mindset and altering the way you think about life and yourself is going to take you up a notch. Okay, for me it helps that fire that burns deeply. It helps me know that I can do something with the person that I really truly am, and you can do it as well. So, you know, if you want to work with me, if you want to have a chat, if there are things that you want some help with and you're not sure how to go about it, then just get in touch. It's no problem. Send me an email or comment on the video box, and you know, we can work through it together. We can find a way of helping you move on to where you want to be. So thanks very much for clicking on today. I hope you got some value from this. If you like it, comment and share, and you know where I am. Come and talk to me if you need anything. Speak to you tomorrow.